Welcome, welcome. I'm super excited you're here with me today. My name is Cindy Lish, and I empower career changers and those returning to the workforce to find amazing jobs that match their current why. Okay, today is part three of our three-part series on networking, reaching out, cold networking, first connection, second connection, reaching out to people and following up with those emails. Okay, today we are going to talk about how to follow up with people in those emails after you've been through the interviews. Okay, and they haven't reached out to you, and what should you do? Okay, so here's how you're going to do it. Step one, be very clear when you're going through that interview process to see if you can find out what the next steps are and what the time frame is. Okay, so at the end of your interview, you're going to say something like the following. Um, I am very interested in this position. Can you please tell me what the next steps are? Hopefully that will detail for you when you're going to expect to hear from them. And if not, you can ask for them, right? Okay, when should I expect to hear from you? When would it be okay to reach out? So that you have a time frame and now follow that direction. So if they say we're going to be interviewing for the next 2 weeks and then we'll be reaching out, then clearly you don't want to reach out to them until after that 2 week period happens. Okay, except for writing that thank you email. Okay, so the first reach out you're going to have is right after that interview when you're going to write that thank you email to them, where you're thanking them not just for interviewing you, but you want to have that last chance to leave that positive impression. So that's when you're talking about something that you connected with them, something where they're going to remember who you were. You're talking about anything that you might have forgotten to mention during that interview that'll leave that last impression, that last story of why you are the right person for this exact position, right? Succinct, to the point, but you're leaving that impression. It's not just thank you so much for interviewing with me. I enjoyed learning more about the position. That's almost meaningless, right? You want to again close it and remind them of why you are important for this job, right? Why you are the best person for this job. Now, going forward, when you're at the positions, when you're able to reach out to them, um, you're going to say things like something like this. Dear so-and-so, I am very excited. As you can imagine, I am very excited about the position. Is there anything else that I can provide that will help you with the decision-making process? Right? So you're not bothering them, you're not pressuring them, like, what is taking you so long? But you were asking if there's something else that you can do. And in doing that, you are offering rather than taking. And it will continue to do what your goal is, which is remind them of your existence. Okay. Um, be mindful of what is going on. So, for example, as I'm filming this right now, we just recently had some hurricanes going on. And I've had clients who said to me, I know that they had to evacuate. I know this, I know that. But I was supposed to hear back at this time from them. I'm like, you need to wait. Again, remember that these are people. They had to evacuate their homes. They had all this damage. Hiring you is not their first concern right now. So please understand that as it's going on. Also understand the process, unfortunately, takes longer than you would like it to. So sometimes the interviews come very quickly, and sometimes there's a long period of time between one interview and the next set of interviews. True story. I had a client who went through 7 sets of interviews for a position. 7. And between interview 6 and interview 7 was 4 or 5 weeks. Okay, it was insane. Mind you, the job was fantastic. The job paid over $200,000. She got that job. But it was just an insane amount of time between one and the other. And when she actually reached out to them and said, she thanked them for their time. And she said, I'm assuming I didn't get the position. And they actually reached out to her and said, no, we haven't made an offer to anybody yet. We had all these other things going on. People are on vacations, other things happen. So as difficult as it is for you to think about the other side, um, think about the other side a little bit. Okay. they have other things going on. It's not always the most important to hire the other people. I know it's really tough to be that job seeker. If you get a rejection, okay, and you have already interviewed a couple of times for that position and you get that rejection, that's the one that really, really stings. Here's what I want to recommend that you do. I want you to send an email to them and I want you to thank them. I want you to thank them for the opportunity to interview with them, express, your disappointment, obviously, at not being chosen, wish them well with the person they selected, and hope that you have an opportunity to work together in the future and that your paths will cross and they will think of you for other opportunities when they have openings in the future. This works more often than you might imagine. I've even had clients where they created positions for them after they got this email from them. Okay. So, sometimes it's this close. It's between you and one other person, and it's very, very, very close. And just one thing was a slight bit better. I even recently had a client that was turned down from a position, and the very next day they called her and offered her the job. What happened? It was this close between her and somebody else. They went with that other person. That other person accepted and then rescinded the offer. Within 24 hours, they offered it to my client. Okay. Sometimes it just happens that way. And it's okay. So do that reaching out. Always be polite about it. There are so few people that are going to make that effort, that after you've been, let's face it, rejected, to thank somebody. Okay. That shows a great depth of character. That shows a huge amount of, can I say maturity? A huge amount of understanding the situation, a huge amount of graciousness on that part. And it really speaks well of you. This is a small world, right? Everybody is interconnected to everybody else. We meet people again. We meet people down the road. All this happens again. So I highly recommend that you don't burn any bridges and that you keep all those doors open. Okay. So here's how you're going to be doing that. Here's how you're going to be reaching out. Be mindful of that time. So if they say you're going to know by Tuesday or Wednesday, wait until Friday or Monday to reach out to them. Okay. Understand that, all those, like in a job posting, multiple deadlines, high priorities, a lot of fires, a lot of things happening at one time. They're dealing with that also. So they might have been ready to reach out to you, and then other things happen that took a priority. Okay. So be gracious about that. You are walking on that fine line between reaching out, being proactive, and not being a stalker. Okay. I hope this 3-part series was super helpful for you. If you missed parts 1 and part 2, go back and watch them. You want some more help? That's what I do. Pop on over to my website, cindylish.com. I'll put some links below. Let's chat. Let's have that free 45-minute discovery call to talk about how I can help you to be super successful in your job search. I hope you have a super productive week. Always remember you're a warrior, and I'll catch you the next time. Bye-bye.